Let's dive in with an exploration of what is emotional intelligence. It's very likely that you've heard this buzzword over the past couple of years. There's been a greater emphasis on teaching emotional intelligence in the schools and also bringing emotional intelligence into organizations. Let's take a look at what it is and how it's defined. And my goal is to simplify this concept for you, because I find that frequently when I ask people to raise their hand if they've heard of emotional intelligence, they'll raise their hand, and then I'll say, raise your hand if you can define emotional intelligence, and nobody raises their hand. And it's a concept that I think is incredibly important and can be simplified, which is what we're going to do together today. If you look at how it's defined in the Google dictionary, they define it as the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. It's also often referred to as EI, emotional intelligence, or EQ, intelligence quotient, to mirror IQ, as in intelligence quotient. A simplified way of understanding emotional intelligence is that emotional intelligence is about the ability to notice, name, and navigate emotions within yourself, and to notice, name, and navigate emotions within other people. And this is a learnable skill that we can embody ourselves, and we can teach it to other people. Noticing my emotional state and being able to name it. What am I actually experiencing? And then be able to navigate it. Do I need to shift my emotional state? And can I create more of the emotional state that I want when I need it? All of this goes into emotional intelligence. And according to Bradbury and Graves in their book, Emotional Intelligence 2.0, they point out that emotional intelligence is highly correlated with success. Their research shows that 90% of top performers score high on emotional quotient, EQ. They also point out that EQ is responsible for 58% of a person's job performance. And they found that people with high EQ tend to outperform people with lower EQ. They also found that people with the highest amount of EQ made more money than people with the lowest amount of EQ. They found on average about $29,000 more annually for people who scored high on emotional quotient. And we've explored the factors that enable resilience, and emotional regulation is one of the key 7 factors of resilience. And we would say that emotional intelligence and emotional regulation go together because, remember, emotional intelligence is being able to notice and name emotional states and then be able to regulate it or to shift it. Also, when we've explored this concept of mental health, we've talked about how mental health and physical health are closely intertwined. Mental health is referred to the ability to digest your life experiences without getting stuck in them, the same way we would talk about physical health. That if a person is eating food that they can't metabolize, they're unhealthy. They might have a stomach ache, they might have diarrhea, they might have constipation, that they're healthy when they're able to move things along. When we score high on emotional intelligence, we're able to move our life experiences along. We don't get stuck in an emotional state the way that we would when we don't have the skills to be able to move it along. And like this quote says by Albert Einstein, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. So in many ways, emotional intelligence helps us move through our life experiences by helping us navigate those emotions that we feel. And when we're able to do this within ourselves, we're able to do it for other people. Emotional intelligence is fundamental to both well-being and success. This construct is one that we're going to keep revisiting over and over again as we teach you how to reframe your thoughts, how to shift how you feel, and how that impacts what you do. But for the time being, I just want to start planting the seeds around this concept of emotional intelligence. And in the upcoming modules, we're going to explore how to teach you more skills for noticing your emotional state, more skills for naming and having words to describe those emotions, and then specifically interventions for shifting how you feel in real time. And so for now, just wanting to reinforce that emotional intelligence is an important concept that we're going to continue to build on in our upcoming sessions.